I wanted to talk about, I think that we should talk about that on Hulu, the Dying for Sex.
Oh,
That's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That made you feel things? It was intense.
Made me feel
right?
a lot.
Yeah, we binged that in the last week or two.
Yeah.
And it's got Michelle Williams in it. There's a bunch of other people in it, obviously, as well. But it's a really beautiful little show. And apparently it was...
it was based on a true story.
Well, I think it was a podcast originally, too.
Was it?
Yeah, I have to go back and find the podcast.
I cannot do that, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
But it was gut-wrenching, right?
It was.
So the story is this woman has stage 4 cancer, and she realizes that she doesn't want to, her life's been a certain way, and she wants to change it there at the end and live a life of really just joy and happiness.
Yeah.
But that
I think liberation.
Liberation's a great word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was bawling
Yeah.
like nonstop watching that show. That in so many ways, that show just cracked me open in really big, beautiful ways of being able to just, I think sometimes like that's what I'll do with movies and TV is it gives me the avenue to just open up and feel, if I'm feeling whatever I might be feeling. But I love the emotional release of it all.
Man, I fought that one. How you're watching it, and I did not want to go down that tunnel of despair. So I stopped watching and was like looking around the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And just so I was like looking at the wall and I'm like, it's not real. You're not there. This isn't happening in this space, and I know it's happening in the world and but I couldn't like the connection that you had with her, like the story, like her role in that, she played that role.
Yeah, she did great.
She played that role really, really well. And I don't know if that's the right terminology. That's okay. That's
she
how
acted
I say
it. She acted that role really well.
Right? She is a phenomenal thespian. But I couldn't, like, I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to break apart right now. It was too much, which is silly, but I didn't want to go into that. I couldn't. So I like actively dissociated from it. And I'm like looking at the TV, looking at the sign, really convincing myself it's okay. And then you asked me at one point, you're like, why are you not crying? Just to try and talk. My voice is like, ugh. I can't let anything out because I'm going to get mad if I cry. I didn't want to feel all of that. I was like, why am I putting myself in a situation to be destroyed over this? And
is it not cathartic for you to have those big emotional releases? Or does it, like, what does
hurts.
that, does it?
It hurts. Yeah. I know, like, I can tap into my own release. And when I have that emotional, like, release for myself, I can allow myself to cry for myself now. And I can cry for other people, but I don't want to lose myself in the sorrow and misery of things if I don't have to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe this is my avoidance stage. I definitely have some avoidant tendencies that come up, but it was just like, I don't want to embody this sensation. I don't want to embody this experience that I'm not having. And I can still be compassionate and empathetic and very much realize so many people are experiencing this and have compassion and want peace for them and want happiness and joy and like help in all the ways. But I did not want to jump into that tank at that moment. I didn't want to lose myself in it. So I was very like dialed in. I'm looking at the dog. I'm looking at the couch. I'm looking at the ceiling. Where am I? I was grounding myself in my room and the surroundings that I was actually in. So I didn't lose it. Because I didn't, I was like, I'll be out for a while.
Yeah.
I go into this, I'm going to be out for a while. It doesn't like have this cry that, and I'm like, okay, better, here we go. Well, I went there.
It takes you
and
out.
Now I'm going to be here for a while. Bring me my blanket. So I didn't want to do it. And I didn't. I'm proud of myself.
You didn't feel the emotions.
I didn't feel the engulfing, surrounding burial of the emotions.
Yeah.
I still felt emotions, but I didn't become the story that I was watching.
Boy, I don't know. That's an interesting thing that we do differently.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I like when I start to feel connected to movies and TV like that.
Yeah.
I like that sensation where it feels like I'm starting to relate to what they're experiencing. And even just like, because in this show, obviously we're leaving out a bunch of stuff. It is called Dying for Sex. There's a lot of sexy stuff in it, but it's done in such a beautiful way that it's just like, it's an awesome show.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But when I start to feel emotionally connected to whatever's happening, and I can kind of start to draw some parallels to life and some different things like that, it definitely starts to spark all of that stuff up inside of me. And I go towards it. Like I don't resist that thing of like, oh, I don't want to feel like you were kept saying, like embodying that character or that energy or that sadness or something like that. And I'm like, I feel like I just pick it up for a minute and then feel whatever that feels like. And then the feeling of it, it kind of allows that release to happen. I don't feel like I'm now suddenly taking it on. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I have never thought about it that way, because you don't cry a lot at movies. You will sometimes. Are you thinking that you're like...
I'm like, interesting.
Do you feel like you do a lot?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that would be on my shows. Like I won't watch that one again.
Yeah.
Like that would go on the list of shows that was too much that I won't watch again. And so, yeah, I think I cry out, but it doesn't matter. You know, I feel like I have a healthy relationship with that. And that's
all that matters, babe.
In that.
Right?
I think you're just mad that you were crying by yourself. I think you got triggered a high school date.
No.
And you were like, why aren't you crying? I'm like,
it's funny that you bring
all right,
that
honey.
up.
Put your head on my shoulder. I got you.
It's so funny that you mentioned that.
That's where you were going, huh?
In the middle of when we were watching the show, that's exactly what was coming into my mind.
I could tell by the way you asked me.
Yeah? Just now?
No, then.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I gave you the answer. Yeah.
That's so funny.
You were safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I had this date back in high school that was really funny where, what was the movie? It was City of Angels.
I thought it was Titanic.
No, it wasn't Titanic.
Well, I think we have a podcast that you've said the story before, and I'm pretty sure you said it was Titanic.
Titanic? No, I've seen Titanic a ton, but
maybe it was City of Angels.
Not maybe, it was City of Angels. I remember.
I mean, you told me the story with Titanic, but it is your story, so I believe you.
The end of City of Angels is devastatingly sad.
Yeah.
With Meg Ryan and Nick Cage, right? And I'm bawling, just sobbing uncontrollably, tears running down my face, even after the credits, even walking out of the theater doing it was like just this incredibly huge, sad moment for me where I had this massive emotional release. And the girl that I was on the date with was like, no tears at all. Zero. Nada. So I felt cool.
Maybe she was looking around trying to ground herself.
Could have been.
Maybe she was like, I can't handle this right now.
Yeah, that's probably what was happening.
Yeah.
In my head, it was like she was thinking, what on earth am I doing with this person? I thought it was like, anyways, that's a whole other story. That show
also, that was a show that made me lose, like I felt ultimately betrayed. That show broke me in ways that, like just hearing the title would upset me. Like I watched that and I would never watch it again. We watched it not too long ago.
Yeah, we rewatched it like a year ago or something.
Yeah. Do you remember? And then we were like, it did not hold up.
I know, it was interesting, right?
We were like getting ready for our okay.
I don't know what was different about it, but it definitely didn't have the same.
We've been healing our souls. Let's rip it apart again.
We'll make it out and fall in love tonight.
Thanks for tuning into the episode. If you haven't yet, please take a moment and subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with somebody. There's new episodes of the Steph Craig Show every week. And if you enjoyed this one, be sure to check out some of these clips as well. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Expect the best, plan for the greatest.